Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? So, tonight is Murder and Makeup, and it's just me tonight. Jamie is very sick tonight. She actually had to go to the hospital, so she is not joining us tonight. So, you guys are stuck with me 2 nights in a row. I hope that you guys are okay with that. But she will be back with us next week for summer party, and then Murder and Makeup the following Friday. So, you guys just get me for tonight's story. And hi, Freddie. How are you? As you can see, I'm still coughing. You know, hopefully it's not too bad. Are you having a good night? And hello, whoever came in. How are you? How's everybody's Saturday evening? Any fun things going on tonight? Anything exciting? And tonight I'm going to use, so me and Jamie usually do like the same palette. And so the palette that we were going to use was the same, and I'm not going to use that palette since she's not here. So I'll save that palette for me and her together. So I'm going to use Berries and Cream by Dominique Cosmetics, because I know she doesn't have this one, and so I'll just use this one tonight since it's just me, and then save the one that we were going to use together. Hey, Zach. No, you were not a pain at all. I was so glad you finally got a hold of me, because I was wondering if you forgot about me, and I was like, Zach forgot, but I'm so glad you finally got a hold of me. And that is fine. I'm excited about my bracelet. No, so you know, I forget things all the time, so don't feel bad. And you probably send out a lot of bracelets, so it's okay. It's totally okay. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. I'm going to start taking my makeup off while people come in, and we can kind of talk. Tell me about your day. Yeah, I worked today. Big surprise on Saturday. It was a pretty good day. Like I told everybody at work, we only had one cranky client, so it was a win. I see it as a win. See, that's pretty good. You send out 12 bracelets, half by net. See, you are busy making bracelets. That's a lot of bracelets to be sending out. I'm just glad that you remembered. That was really nice that you make bracelets for everybody. I'll feel so cool with my bracelet. I'll be part of the cool crowd. Oh, my dad had made one of those for me. It's a sunflower. That's like his new hobby, is those diamond paintings. It's actually really cool. He gave it to me for Mother's Day. I need to hang it up. I've never tried it. Like, it looks really fun. He says it's very relaxing to sit there and do this. Do you find it relaxing too, the diamond painting, Zach? Okay, you guys are on lockdown until... Okay. Yeah. My dad's retired, so, like, he has, like, that's just one of his his hobbies. He started it in the winter because he is really into motorcycles. And so when it's too cold for him to be out in the garage working on motorcycles, he needs something to do. And so he thought that this would be something very relaxing. Jamie, I'm just sorry that you are feeling so bad that you can't be up beside me. Just be down there cheering me on. It's a sinus infection. It swelled your eye shut? I'm so sorry. That makes me so sad. Well, we're sending prayers and well wishes. That's what Vance's started out as. And now it's like bronchitis. So you need to take care of vitamin C. Take extra vitamin C. That will help a lot. All right. Okay, my makeup's off. I'm going to start prepping my face. Oh, and Jamie, I'm not using the palette that we agreed on. Since you're not up here, I'm saving that for next time, okay? So I'm going to use this, the Dominique Cosmetics Berries and Cream. Well, that could be why. That makes sense. And that explains all your headaches. That explains all your headaches. So I'm going to use this palette instead. Is this a good choice, Jamie? Do you like it? Do you approve? It has purples. Does it get a Jamie thumb up? 2 thumbs ups from Jamie. Oh, Jamie loves it. Yay! That makes me so happy. Oh, two. Yay. Okay. So, Jamie picked Casey Anthony story for this time. And so I hope I do Jamie proud for this story. And I'm sure that everybody has opinions on this story because you would have to, in 2008, pretty much would have to live under a rock not to know who Casey Anthony was. And also be respectful because, she was found innocent. So, and please state in your opinion and all that stuff. Because, we have to be very respectful of that. But anyway, on to the story of Casey Anthony. A lot of people refer to her the most hated woman in America. In my opinion, yes, she is. Yes. In my opinion, yes. She is she is horrible. I mean, we'll get to all of that. I'm sorry, my cough. So, we'll start with the background, and we'll get to all of it. Okay. So Casey Anthony was a 22-year-old single mom from Florida. And so she was kind of, right from the beginning, she kind of was a liar. Like, even about her daughter, Kaylee, like, she wouldn't even tell her family that she was pregnant right from the beginning. She didn't tell all the family members that she was pregnant until she went until the baby was born. So she didn't even tell all the family members that she was even pregnant with Kaylee. So, I mean, I feel like that's really weird. August 9th, 2005, Kaylee Marie Anthony is born, and Kaylee arrives. Casey Anthony denies being pregnant. I already said that to the family, and she never names the father. She just lied about it. Like, nobody knew who the father was. Like, that she just never confessed to who that was. June 16, 2008, Casey drives with Kaylee over to the grandparents' home in Orlando, the home of Cindy and George Anthony. This is Kaylee's grandparents. And I guess there was a family argument that day. Hi, Hobby. Hi, hobbyist. Sorry, my voice kind of went there for a minute. How are you today? And I don't think I won the contest. I never heard anything. I told you. Not very good luck. Anyway, and it was Father's Day, and then Casey and her parents got into an argument. And so she ends up leaving with Kaylee. And that was the last time the grandparents saw Kaylee alive. And Kaylee was almost 3 years old. And she did not they never saw her again. And then July 15th, 2008. Well, Cindy keeps on calling Casey and asking, I want to see Kaylee. I want to see Kaylee. And Casey keeps on saying, well, she's not here. She's not here. She's out with Zanny. She's with Zanny the nanny. Okay, they didn't do it. Okay. All right. And then maybe I still have a chance. Yep. You got me all choked up. Anyway, so she kept on saying, well, she's out with the nanny. She's out with the nanny. Zanny is what she called her. Zanny the nanny. Um, her name was, she said her name was Zendaya Fernandez Gonzalez. There was no Zanny the nanny, but there was a lady with that name, but she did not know Casey Anthony or Kaylee at all. But nobody in the family ever knew Zanny at all. And so that was another big lie of Casey's that she told. And so then, learning that Casey's car was towed, George, her dad, went to the tow yard to go get it. And he goes and picks it up. And the yard attendant and George, the car had a strong odor coming from it. And they stated that they believed that it smelled like a dead body. And the trunk opened and it contained only a bag of trash. And that was it. But it smelled like a dead body. Does that seem weird to anybody else? And then the mom reports Kaylee missing after 31 days. 31 days missing. And they report her missing. And as a mom, do you think that you would wait 31 days to report your child missing? I mean, for real. Would you wait 31 days to report your kid missing? Like, I would be going insane if my kids were missing for 5 minutes. For real. Like, I know. An hour. I would be freaking out. I don't even think I could wait that long. I'd be flipping out. I don't know. Casey's a piece of work, in my opinion. I have to be really careful. Okay, so she reports her missing. So she's on the phone with the sheriff's office and talking to the operator, and she's very distraught when talking to them. And Cindy says, and there's something wrong, and I found my daughter's car today, and there's something that's been dead, been a dead body in that damn car. Once again, like, that is a very distinct smell. Like, for real. I just think, and that is very key that she says that it smells like a damn body in the car. That is very important to this case that she said that. So the investigation starts, and the detectives, and I'm going to say this wrong, so forgive me. Yuri Milchich, we'll say that, of Orange County Sheriff's Department they begin investigating Kaylee's disappearance. He found discrepancy. He found her. He just felt like she was lying. Shocking, right? Yes, 30 minutes. Yeah, I would be flipping out. I don't know. I just think that would be, I would be flipping out. I would not wait 31 days to report my kid missing. And then I know, I haven't got to this part, but I know that in the trial, the original trial, they said that she was partying on like that she had pictures of her partying on Facebook the whole time, that in the 31 days that her daughter was missing. Yeah. I wouldn't be partying up while my kid was missing. Right. In my opinion, she's just a real piece of work. Anyway, so they just felt like Casey was lying in this investigation. Casey signed a statement, and when she was questioned, they asked her about Zanny the nanny, and she said that Zanny and the nanny kidnapped Kaylee. Right? I was scared to try. Yes. So she said that Zanny kidnapped Kaylee. And although Casey talked about Zanny, but nobody in the family, like I said, have ever met the nanny. And Casey also told the police that she worked at Universal Studios. And but she didn't work there, because the investigators took her to Universal Studios on July 16th, 2008. And they walked around for a little, like for a while, like a couple of hours, because they wanted to see her office. And so they're walking around Universal Studios for quite a while. And she finally says, hey, to tell you the truth, I don't work here. I got fired a long time ago, and I didn't want to admit it. Who does that? Who does that? So she like led them on a wild goose chase at Universal Studios, pretending that she works there. And then she finally realizes that she had to come clean. She had to tell them the truth. Right? I think that you have to be really careful who you let watch your kids, because you hear about stuff all the time. So yeah, so that's what happened at Universal Studios. So she got totally caught in a lie. So she keeps on getting caught in lie after lie. Right? I thought it was kind of funny. It made me laugh the first time I read that. And then Casey was first arrested right after the Universal Studios on the 16th, because charges giving a false statement to the police, child neglect, obstruction of criminal investigation. Bail was denied for disregarding of the welfare of her child. Yeah, because you didn't report your child missing for 31 days. I wonder why your bail was denied. On July 22nd, 2008, a bond hearing was set for $500,000. August 21st, 1 month after she was released from jail. So she had to spend 1 month in jail because her nephew posted bail in hopes that she would cooperate and Kaylee would be found. I got to put the dog out real quick because she's like crying. I know. I you that that's the one time I'm so passive, but if you mess with my kids, you would see a whole different side of me. Hey. I mean, I get so mad when somebody is mean to my kids. Like, oh, it'd be over if somebody hurt them. Oh, the crazy would probably come out. I can't imagine. Okay. So on August 11th, 12th, and 13th of 2008, Roy Kronk, I don't know if I said his name right either. Some of these last names, I will not say them right. I'm so sorry. Called the police. He saw something suspicious around the forest area right beside the Anthony house. And he, you know, at first, the sheriff's office didn't seem to be too concerned about it. You know, they didn't send a police officer out or anything. And then so he kept calling until finally they sent somebody out there. And he appeared, and then when they finally came out there, it appeared to be a skull near a gray bag. And on December 11th, 2008, Kronk again called the police, and they searched and found the remains of a child in a trash bag. Yes, I mean, well, your dog is like your child. I mean, so anyway, and then the investigative teams recovered the duct tape, which was hanging from the hair attached to the skull, and some tissues left on the skull. Over the next 4 days, more bones were found in the wooded area near the spot where the remains were initially found. I agree, Jamie. I don't think that's fair at all, that there's so many women that can't even have children, and then there's moms like that would do this to their child. It doesn't make sense. Not at all. So on December 19th, 2008, the medical examiner Jan, okay, we're just going to call her Jan because I cannot say her last name at all, confirmed the remains found were Kaylee Anthony, and the death was ruled a homicide, cause of death, and the list was considered undetermined. Okay, so Casey was offered a very limited immunity deal. And the deal was, it was On July 29, 2008, prosecutors related that the false statements given to law enforcement locating her child, which was renewed on August 28th, she did not take it. On September 5th, 2008, she was released again on bail for many charges after fitted with an electronic tracking device. Her $500,000 bond was posted by her parents, Cindy and George Anthony, who signed a note for the bond. They said that basically the reason why they were giving her a deal because they really wanted to know what happened to her. So they gave her a deal in order to find out what happened to Kate. So that's why they were doing that. It wasn't because they were trying to get her out of jail or anything. It was to get her to confess and to get her, well, we'll give you this so you could tell us what happened. Tell us what happened. She didn't take it. And that was the best deal. That was the best deal that they could come up. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jamie. You're so sweet to me. On October 14th, 2008, Casey Anthony was indicted by grand jury on charges for first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false statements information to the police. And she was later arrested, and Judge John Jordan ordered that she be held without bond on October 21st, 2008. Of charges of child neglect were dropped against Casey according to the state attorney office because the evidence proved that the child was deceased, and the state sought the indictment of legal appropriate charges on October 28th. Anthony was arraigned and pleaded not guilty to all charges. What do you guys think about that? Her pleading not guilty. I mean, we all know the outcome, but what do you think that her pleading not guilty? I want to know your guys' thoughts. I mean, I think she's like the biggest liar, in my opinion. Like, she is such a liar. What's your guys' thoughts so far? And that poor baby. That poor baby. If you didn't want your baby, couldn't she just give it up for adoption? I mean, that's all I'm saying. There's so many people that could taken care of it if she didn't want that baby. What do you guys think? I was just curious. What's your thoughts so far? All right. So once again, you're dumbfounded. I mean, this case is something else. She's something else. Okay, so on April 13th, 2009, prosecutors announced that they are going to seek the death penalty. The trial was going to be on Orange County Courthouse in Florida, of course, and it was decided on July 5th, 2011. So the verdict was not guilty, no, on account of the first-degree murder, on account of aggravated manslaughter of a child, on account of a child abuse, guilty of 4 counts providing information to law enforcement. The case history: Casey Anthony was given credit for time served in prison, released on July 17th, 2011. Judge Pelvin Perry was his name. That's just kind of a quick overview, but now we're going to get into that. And I'm going to go over all the evidence and everything. So, 400 pieces of evidence were presented. A strand of hair was recovered from the trunk of Casey's car. That was similar to taken from Kaylee's hairbrush, and the strand showed a root banding in which the hair roots form a dark band after death, which consisted with the hair from the dead body. Okay, and then Kronk, who discovered the remains, repeated the same basic story that he told the police about finding. About that, he told police on Friday, the 24th, 2008, to the forensics report. Airpad Voss on Oak Ridge National Laboratory judge results from the sampling procedure called LIBS. And then they performed all that in the trunk of Casey Anthony's car, showing the chemical compounds consisted with the decomposition event based on the chemical compounds that Voss research groups and chemical composition. Investigators stated that the trunk smelled strongly of human decomposition. Sounds so gross. But the human composition was not specific. It didn't state like who it was, or the process had not confirmed like who it was. And also the chloroform that was in the trunk was also discussed. In October 2009, officials released 700 pages of documents related to the Anthony investigation, including records from Google searches on terms neck breaking and how to make chloroform on Casey's computer. And that was part of their evidence. Who Googles that? Neck breaking and chloroform. Suspicious. I mean, that's super suspicious. Anybody? Think that's a little suspicious? Okay. According to the detectives, crime scene and evidence included residue of heart-shaped stickers on the duct tape over Kaylee's right over Kaylee's skull. But they couldn't. But when they like took it off, it didn't photograph where they could like. It wasn't like a full. It didn't transfer completely, but they still like included. And then also, the blanket was found, and it was like a match to the bedding at the grandparents' home. So that was also entered. So sorry for my coughing. Among the photos entered into the evidence was one from the computer of Richard Morales, an ex-boyfriend of Casey's. And he had a picture of a woman with a rag captured, and it says, "Win her over with chloroform." I mean, he sound like a winner. And hello to whoever came in. How are you guys tonight? Going over the Casey Anthony trial and everything. If you just came in, that is what we're talking about. So the first witness was John Dennis Bradley, software developed for the computer investigations and was used by the prosecution to basically to search for the word chloroform. How many times it was used? 84 times. She searched chloroform 84 times on her computer. And to suggest that Anthony had a plan to commit murder later, and then, but there was a slight glitch in that, that for the one time the website question offered information that they said that the flow in it or the software misread the forensics data on it. So that was how the defense like turned that around, that there was like a slight glitch in it. So they did turn that around. Anyway, so then witness testimonies. The prosecutors called George Anthony. So George Anthony, as the first witness, and in response to their question, he denied having sexual abused his daughter, Casey, which I don't think he did. Like, I can't believe that she threw her dad under the bus like that. Anthony testified he did not abuse his daughter. And then Anthony also testified he did not smell. This is what I can't believe. He did not smell anything resembling human composition in the car when she visited him on June 24th. But he did smell it when he picked up the car on July 15th. So he did smell on the 15th, but not on the 20th. Not when the day that he left the house. And then the mom, so Cindy gets up there and she gets up there and she's like, when she called 911, she's like, when she said that it smelled like someone died, it was just a figure of speech. I mean, how many of you use that figure of speech? That someone, like someone died. Do you guys use that figure of speech? that car smells like someone died. I don't. I mean, but she said that she didn't mean it like that when she called. And it didn't smell like a dead body. It was just a figure of speech. So it didn't smell that bad. Well, what are you feeding your poor dog? I mean, I kind of feel sorry for your dog. Okay, so Boz asked the FBI analyst about the paternity test. FBI conducted to see if Lee Anthony was Kaylee's father. She told the jury test had came back negative. And I believe Lee Anthony is is Casey's. I believe it says her brother, but I'm not for sure on that. I'm getting so tired of this cough. And I'm sure you guys are too. And I'm so sorry. Okay. So that's who I believe it is, but I'm not sure. They came back negative regarding a photo on the computer of Ricardo Morales and the ex-boyfriend. You know, the poster to win her over with chloroform. Morales said the photo was his MySpace page, and he never discussed chloroform with Anthony. I'm okay. It's just, getting over that sinus infection that I had, and I worked all day. And so when I'm at work, I have to wear that mask at work still because I haven't been vaccinated. And I think all the fumes at work and everything, it kind of bothers me. And so I probably do. So I think I just get really, from wearing the mask all day. I'm fine when I'm not at work all day. Like tomorrow, I'm off and I won't have that mask on all day. I'll be fine. I hardly will cough. But after being at work all day and having to wear that mask, after work, I cough all night. So I'm so sorry. So sorry. Anyway. I thought maybe like having a drink or something would kind of help. But anyway, the prosecution. Okay, so he never discussed chloroform with Anthony or helped her search for it. We don't either, as long as you have the vaccine. But I'm sure pretty soon that will be kind of gone too. But right now, you have to have the vaccine to be out of it. I hope that will be done completely. But we'll see. We'll see. The prosecution called John Dennis Bradley, a former Canadian law enforcement officer who developed software for computer investigation to analyze data file from a desktop from Anthony's home. And so, Bradley said the program recovered deleted searches. And the deleted searches from March 17th to March 21st, 2008 Someone searched on the website Sci-Fi Spot for chloroform 84 times. And Bradley expressed his belief that some one of these items have been bookmarked, undercrossed, and then the defense, of course, they have to make it look like it could have been someone else in the house, that it wasn't hers, because they have to put reasonable doubt that it could have been anybody in the house and not Casey. Blah, blah, blah. Because they have to try to get their client off. But who else in the house would be searching that? Anyway, the police dog handler, Jason Forgy. These last names. Oh my gosh. Jamie, these last names. Did you have a hard time saying them too? Testified that the German Shepherd cadaver dog was certified in 2005 and had a high alert of human decomposition in the trunk of Casey's car, saying that the police had and the dog has had over 3,000 searches for bodies by now. But then the defense gets up there and said, oh, that's hearsay because, it's a dog basically, and that you can't really number how many bodies that the dog found because the dog can't speak and all that. Whatever. Defense, shut up. Anyway, but Sergeant Christian Bruce also testified that her police dog, the bone single decomposition in the backyard during the search, 2008. However, neither police dog was able to detect the decomposition during the second visit to the Anthony's home. Brewer explained that this was because whatever had been in the yard was either moved or odor dispatched. So the first time they smelled it, but the second time they didn't. But like she said, that it was moved or the smell was gone. So that was why the dogs couldn't smell it anymore. But of course, the defense turned that around and was like, well, that means it was never there and created reasonable doubt. The prosecution called Chief Medical Examiner Jan, because we can't say her last name, who testified that she determined Kaylee's death to be homicide because of this list, death by undetermined means. Jan took into account the physical evidence presented the remains, which we couldn't. There was not, an autopsy. This is all we had because, it's a child, so they're not going to release that. But anyway, the remains she examined, as well as the available information on the way that they were found and what she has been told that by the authorities before arriving by the termination, we know by observation that it was a red flag when a child has not been reporting by authorities with injuries. There's foul play. Yeah, she's missing for 31 days and nobody did anything. That's weird. Just saying, that's weird. I mean, weird. And she also went on to say that there's no child that should have been duct taped on its face when it dies. Also weird. An additional, she said that the chloroform evidence found in the investigation inside the trunk of Casey's car testified that even a small amount would be sufficient to cause death of a child. So what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts so far on the evidence? I want to know. Jamie, how am I doing? In my opinion, I agree with you 100%, Freddie. A 100%. Yay! Okay. So, on June 30th, the defense called Crystal Holloway, a volunteer in search for Kaylee, who stated that she had an affair with George Anthony and he had been to her home. And that he had texted her, "Just thinking about you. I need you in my life." She told the defense that George Anthony had told her that Kaylee's death was an accident and that snowballed out of control. Under cross-examination, prosecutors that she pointed to sworn police statement that she had said George Anthony believed it was an accident rather than knowing it was an intentional report. Holloway said that George Anthony said, "I really believe that it was an accident that just went wrong," and Casey tried to cover it up. She said that he had not told her he was present, and during the defense, Boz asked Holloway if George Anthony had told her that Kaylee was dead, why, stating publicly that she was missing, to which she replied, "Yes." Okay. In early testimony, George Anthony said he denied the affair with Holloway and said he visited her only once because she was ill. And he said he sent the text message because he needed everyone who helped in his life. After Holloway testimony, Judge Perry told the jurors he could use this to impeach George Anthony's credibility, and it was not proof that Kaylee died or evidence that Anthony's guilt or innocence. Thank you. On June 30th, July 1st. Oh, wait, hold on. The prosecution rested and the case on June 15th, and after calling 59 witnesses and 70 different testimonies, the defense rested, and on June 30, calling 47 witnesses and 60 different testimonies, Casey Anthony did not testify. Do you believe that? Of course, she's such a liar. Do you think that she should have testified, or do you think it was better for her not to testify? I mean, it's probably better she didn't testify. Wicked Earth, Matthew Fox, talented jewelry maker. Anyway, do you think it was a good idea for her not to testify or to testify? I mean, she probably couldn't. Hi, Bird's Nest. So, on the 30th and the 1st, the prosecution began to rebuttal, showing the jury the photographs of Kaylee's clothes, George's suicide note. I called two representatives of Cindy Anthony's former employer, who explained why their computer login system showed Cindy was at work that afternoon. It starts at 9 on Friday. On Saturdays, if we go earlier. Oh. I got it. But it shows you twice when you write stuff. Well, we did. We were going to, but Jamie was sick and we were going to go. We were going to practice early. But then I decided just to go normal time. And since I don't have a community page to post it, I just hope people get notifications. Okay. So, okay, where was I? Sorry, I forgot. So then Cindy Anthony's former employer explained why the computer login system showed that Cindy Anthony was at work that afternoon. She went home early, searched her computer for information about chloroform. We're talking about Casey Anthony. And what a horrible person that she is. In my opinion. Strictly my opinion. I have to get better about saying that, in my opinion. Anyway. And police computer that analyzed testified someone purposely searched online for neck plus breaking. Another analyst testified she recalled to reboot a defense witness on the need to open a skull during an autopsy. The lead detective stated there were no phone calls between Cindy and George Anthony during the week of June 16th. However, the defense, he did not know George had a second cell phone. Yeah, the mom says she looked this stuff up. The mom completely lied, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, I think the mom lied to save her horrible daughter, in my opinion. I think the parents covered for their horrible daughter, in my opinion. What do you think, Jamie? Since you did the research too, what do you think? What's your opinion? In closing arguments on the 3rd and 4th of July, Jeff Ashton for the prosecution told the jury, when you have a child and that child becomes your life, the case is about the clash between the responsibilities and the expectation that go with it and the life that Casey Anthony wanted to have. He outlined the case and against Casey, touching on her many lies to her parents and the others, the smell in the car trunk. Identified the several witnesses, including her own father, as the odor from human decomposition, and the items were found in Kaylee's remains. And in 2008, he emphasized how Casey maintains her lies until the absolute cannot be remained anymore, and then replaces them with another lie, using Zanny the nanny as an example. Anthony repeatedly told the police that Kaylee was with Zanny the nanny. She specifically identified as Zenita Fernandez Gonzalez. Police, however, were never able to find the nanny. Authorities did find a woman with that name, but she never met the Anthonys. You know, thank you so much. Purple is my favorite color and Jamie's favorite color. Well, fun little fact. Little factoid. Anyway, Ashton reintroduced the items that were found with Kaylee's remains, including a Winnie the Pooh blanket. Isn't that so sad? That matched the bedding in their grandparents' home. One of the set of laundry bags with the twin bag found at the Anthony's home. The duct tape was said to have been kind of a rare brand. And the bag is in Kaylee's coffin. Ashton said, holding up a photograph of the laundry bag as Casey reacted with emotion. With emotion. Her father criticized the defense theory that Kaylee drowned in Anthony's pool, and Casey and George panicked and finding the child's body and then covered her death. Advised juries to use the common sense when deciding to divert. No one makes an accident look like a murder, he said. I mean, he has a point, in my opinion. I mean, this is really hard to keep saying. Before closing arguments, Judge Perry ruled that the defense could argue the drowning could occur due to reasonable conclusion aided by witness testimony, but that by arguing sexual abuse was not allowed. To support the claim George sexually abused Casey, Boz began to contending that there were holes in the prosecution forensics evidence, saying the base was fantasy. What do you guys think so far of the closing arguments? Why I smoke out my bottom. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you, I mean, the mom, like, what is the mom thinking? Changing her story. Figure of speech. What the? I mean, for real. I mean, I know that's her daughter and she loves her daughter. But what about her granddaughter? That's her granddaughter that deserved a life. Like, how could you? I don't know. It is so sad. I just think about that poor baby. Bird's Nest. You watch the I watched the whole thing. I remember the trial. I remember when that came out. Like, I remember this being everywhere. I don't think that you cannot remember this trial. I mean, it was everywhere. I mean, I think it's kind of equivalent to like when, like O.J. Simpson, like when that happened. I mean, I don't know. That mom was an enabler for her, letting her get away with stuff. Okay. I just couldn't read and put on eyeliner. I would have poked my eye out. Okay, so then, for the closing argument, Judge Perry ruled that the defense could not argue. I already read that, sorry. I had to find where I was. That was fantasy. He told the jury that the prosecution wanted them to see the stains and insects and did not really exist, and that had not been proven that the stains in Anthony's car trunk were caused by Kaylee's decomposition rather than from a trash bag that found there. And he added that the prosecution tried to make his client look like a slut liar. Do you think that she was a slut and a liar? What do you guys think? Is she a slut liar? In your opinion? Me too. When kids are involved, it's a little harder to be a little she's a lot. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm with you. She's a slut, a liar. Yep. In my opinion. Okay. Because the evidence was weak, he said the drowning was the only explanation that made sense. Or that she just is a horrible person, in our opinion. And they showed the jurors the photograph of Kaylee opening the home sliding door by herself. He stressed that there was no child safety locks on the home, and that both Casey's parents, George and Cindy, testified that Kaylee could get out of the house easily, although Cindy testified that Kaylee could not put up the ladder on the side of the pool and climb up. Boz alleged that Cindy may have not left the ladder up the night before. She did not admit to doing that, so in the testimony, but he said that how much guilt would she have known if it was her that left the ladder up that day? Defense attorney Jose Boz told the jurors his biggest fear that they would base their verdict on emotion, not evidence, and strategy behind this is if you hate her, if you think she's a lying, no good slut, then you'll have to start to look at this evidence in a different light. I mean, she is a liar and a no good slut. That's the best line of it. He said the whole time. I told you from the very beginning of this case, this was not an accident that snowballed out of control. This was an accident that snowballed out of control. I said that wrong. Sorry, my bad. What made this unique is not what happened, but who it happened to, he's explained. Casey's Anthony's behavior at the beginning of the result of a dysfunctional family situation. Because she's a liar and a slut. And at one point, Boz spoke, and Ashton could see the smiling, chuckling behind his hand, and prompted Boz to refer to him as this laughing guy right here. The judge called the sidebar conference and then a recess. When the court resumed, he yelled at them, and both sides, both saying, Ashton and Boz, he had violated his order, and neither side should make this like a sparring match. After both attorneys apologized, the judge accepted the apologies, and the offending attorney included them in the courthouse. The defense attorney, Mason, his name is literally Mason. Who does not think Perry Mason at this moment? Anybody else? Just asking. Okay, so Mason then followed up with closing arguments addressing the jury to discuss the charges against Anthony. The burden that rests on the shoulders of my colleagues, the state attorney's office, Mason said, referring to providing Casey Anthony committing the crime. Mason said the jurors are required whether they like it or not, to find the defendant not guilty if the state did not adequately prove the case against Anthony. Mason emphasized the burden of proof is on the state, and that Casey Anthony's decision not to testify is not an implement of guilt. Yes, it is. In our opinion. In my opinion. I say we like Jamie's still with me. She's with me in spirit. Right, Jamie? You're with me? Okay. So, the lead prosecutor, Linda Terrain, I'm not going to say her last name either. It's really... Okay, let me try. Burdick. Maybe that's how I'm saying it, how I'm supposed to say it. These last names are killing me. No pun intended. In the prosecution rebuttal, told the jurors that she and her colleagues backed up every claim they made in their opening statement 6 weeks ago, implied that the defense never directly backed up their own opening claims. My biggest fear and common sense would be the loss of the rhetorical in this case, she said, insisting that she would never ask the jury decision on based emotion rather than evidence. Burdick. I think I said it right. Burdick. That's why I got a chuckle. Yeah. Yep. I mean, can you imagine having a last name like that? At least her first name, at least it's the first name's not like Richard or something. That would be funnier. Sorry. I know some last names. We see them all the time at the salon. I have to excuse myself so I can go laugh in the break room. Anyway. Biggest fear, common sense will be lost in the rhetorical case, she said, insisting that they would never ask the jury to make this decision based on emotion rather than evidence. Respond to guilt are so predictable, she stated. What do guilty people do? They lie. They avoid. They run. They mislead. They divert attention away from themselves, and they act like nothing is wrong. She suggested the garbage bag in the trunk. The car was a decoy. But to keep people from getting suspicious about the smell of the car, and that she left it abandoned in the parking stall directly beside the dumpster in the Amscott parking lot. Whose life was better without Kaylee? She asked, stressing how George and Cindy Anthony were wondering where their daughter and the granddaughter were in June and July 2008. The same time Anthony was staying at her boyfriend's apartment while Kaylee's body was decomposing in the woods. There's only one question you need to answer in considering Kaylee Marie Anthony was left on the side of the road dead. Burdick. Then the jury, a split screen with photo of Casey partying it up at a nightclub. One side close up of the Bella Vita, meaning beautiful life, tattoo that she got weeks after Kaylee died died. Thoughts? So many. The jury began deliberations on July 4th and 5th. Prosecutors stated that during the deliberations, they were about to give the jury the corrected information regarding Bradley's software discrepancy. However, the jury reached a verdict before they could do so. One legal analyst started, and the jury had found Casey guilty before receiving the evidence, and then prosecutors' failure to fully disclose it could have been grounds for dismissed trial. The verdict and sentence. So they had to go back and tell him about the discrepancy with that computer. So the verdict and sentence. So she was found guilty before that. On July 5th, 2011, the jury found Casey not guilty on counts of three regarding first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, aggravated child abuse, while finding her guilty on accounts 4 throughout 7 providing false statements to law enforcement. Count 4, Anthony said she was employed by Universal Studios 2008. The investigation of missing report. Count 5, Anthony says she left Kaylee at the apartment complex with babysitter Zanny the nanny. Law enforcement pursued the missing babysitter. You know her, Richard Tucker. That's hilarious. Count 6. Anthony said that she informed 2 employees of Universal Studios, Jeff Hopkins, Juliet Lewis of Universal Studios, the disappearance of Kaylee. Count 7. Anthony says she received a phone call and spoke to Kaylee on July 15th, causing law enforcement to expend further resources. On July 7th, 2011, sentence and arguments were heard, and the defense asked for a sentence to be based on the account of lying grounds and offense occurred as part of single interview, police dealing with the same matter and disappearance of her daughter as a continuous lie. Defense and arguments finding that Casey Anthony's statements consisted four distinct separate lies, orders, sentences, consecutively, noting law enforcement expends a great deal of time and energy, manpower looking for Kaylee Marie Anthony. This search went on from July to December for several months, trying to find Kaylee Marie Anthony. Judge Perry sentenced Casey to 1 year in the county jail, but then she basically got, for the time that she already served, credit for good behavior. She was released July 17th, 2011. So she got out pretty easy. In September 2011, Perry complied with the Florida statute requiring judges to access the investigation. The prosecutor crossed and requested the state urgency and ruled Casey Anthony must pay $2,017 to the state of Florida, where he ruled that she had to pay the cost directly related to the lying in law enforcement of the death of Kaylee, including search cost. Oh, thank you. Exactly, a large sum, sour grapes, because of the Constitution lost the case, and he told reporters that Anthony is basically a liar and January 13th, the Florida appeals courts reduced her convictions from For 4 counts to 2 counts, her attorneys argued that the false statements a single offense. However, the court appealed noted that she gave false information during 2 separate the police interviews for 2 several hours apart. As you know, it got massive coverage. It was everywhere. The trial coverage, you couldn't turn on the news without hearing about Casey Anthony. What are your guys' thoughts? Was she guilty? What's your opinions? I gotta get the dog from outside. Start typing your opinions. Her mom changed her statement. Yeah. That's basically what everybody thinks. Her tattoo, her going out. Partying up why her daughter was missing. That's kind of the general. I think that's what everybody's general idea is, that she was out doing, that she wanted to live it up. So the aftermath, kind of what happened after the trial, Mason kind of blamed the media for the passion hatred towards Casey. He described the media's assassination of her before the trial and saying that I hope this is a lesson for those of you who have indulged in the media assassination for 3 years, bias and prejudice and incompetent taking heads, saying that what you would have and how to be, Mason. I can tell you that my colleagues from coast to coast, border to border, have condemned this process, and lawyers getting on television and talking about cases and don't know a damn thing don't have the experience to back up their words and how to do it, and have learned a lesson. Mason's response and viewed especially critical of Nancy Grace, whose program is called cited and have almost single-handed inflated the Anthony case from routine local murder and national obsession. They can't, because of double jeopardy. She's already she could basically confess now, and they can't do anything. Look at OJ's book that he wrote. I don't know if they did that or not. I don't think so, since it was her. It would have to be her family. And I doubt they did that. Because her mom especially was all about it. Thank you. So he basically goes on to say that she criticized the defense attorneys and before mentioning Kaylee's name in post verdicts in conference, and she said that she disagrees with the verdict. And the state attorney's law said, "We are disappointed with the verdict today because we know for the fact that we put in an absolute very piece of evidence and that existed in this dry bone case, very, very difficult to prove. And the delay in recovering little Kaylee's remains worked to our considerable disadvantage." Bias said, "We are happy for Casey. There's no winners in this case. Kaylee has passed on far, far too soon. And and for my driving force, this have been my last 3 years, and always make sure that there just been justice for Kaylee and Casey because Casey did not murder Kaylee." It's that simple. He added, "Today's system justice did not dishonor memory by a false conviction." Former Casey's Anthony's defense attorney, Linda Kennedy Baden, shared Boss's sentiments. She believed the jury reached the right verdict. "We should embrace their verdict." Of course they say that. July 6, 2011, Ashton gave his interview about the case on The View. Obviously, it's not the outcome we wanted. It's the outcome. It's not the outcome we wanted from the perspective of what we do. This was a fantastic case. He disagreed with those whose statements prosecution overcharged the case, saying that the facts we had, the first degree murder. I think it all came down to the evidence. It was ultimately came down to the cause of death. Ashton additionally explained the jury did not perceive the first degree murder with what they saw in the photograph. Kaylee's skull was with the duct tape, and so be it. He said he expects the jury's decision, if not taken away from his faith in the justice, and you can't believe the rule of law had not accepted. Sometimes it doesn't go away with what you think it should, stated Ashton. He explained that understated why the case struck such a nerve with the public. I think people see someone that they believe has gone away from a mother's love for her child. It's so outrageous outrages them. Ashton also made appearance at several other talk shows the days following. Complimented Boss on the cross the potential to be a great attorney. So what do you guys thought? And the last thoughts on it. I don't think Casey, in my opinion, she just wanted, she didn't want her kid. And she should have just gave her baby up. I don't know why she had her if she didn't want her. That is horrible what she did. And that poor child. That's she got away with it. There's no question about it. She got, in my opinion. And I don't know. And like they said, the jury at first did find her guilty, and then they had to come back and change the verdict because of that program. So if it wasn't for that, it would have been a different outcome. So that would have changed everything if that would have been different. So that's interesting. I mean, I don't think there's much to say. I mean, I think everybody, I mean, that's why Casey Anthony is known as the most hated woman in America. I mean, I mean, is there anybody that really thinks that she was innocent? Yes. And this is, yes, I have. It was a sinus infection and it's almost gone. It was from wearing a mask all day. I'm like almost over it. It's pretty much gone. I just had to wear a mask all day at work. And so it's a little worse right now. I probably won't even cough all day tomorrow because I don't have to wear a mask. I didn't look it up because I mean, I really don't care where Casey is. I just hope she never has a child again, to be quite honest. But I don't think the parents were involved because she left the house that day because she was mad and she left the house with the child, is what was stated. So it's not like, because it was Father's Day, she left and then they didn't see her for 31 days. Oh, she's still in Florida. And I think that the parents separated. So I don't think George and Cindy are even together. She's an investigator. Well, she's good at lying. But who would pay her to be an investigator? I don't know. Like I said, I just hope she doesn't have any more kids. Because apparently she was not. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. That might be a true statement. I mean, she really didn't seem to like get her consistency together, did she? One lie after another. I don't think she could be a lawyer because she was arrested. She has criminal charges. I think they frown upon that in law school. You know. And she served jail time. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, she could lie about it. Maybe they could. I don't, and I think she is because she, oh, Jamie, do you have any thoughts on this case? What do you think? What's your opinion? I think she would be considered a felon because she did serve jail time and she was found guilty on charges, just not murder, because she was found guilty on lying to the police officers. So she was actually found guilty on charges. Hey, Adrian, we are talking about Casey Anthony. I already told the whole story, but I mean, you know the Casey Anthony story and the death of Kaylee. So, Casey Anthony, she is a piece of shit, in my opinion. I mean, anybody that would kill their child, piece of shit. I mean, she did. I mean, my opinion, I already stated that several times, but I mean, does anybody actually think she was innocent besides her parents? Yeah, she was totally guilty. I just don't see how a mom could go 31 days thinking her kid is missing. 31 days, your kid is missing. No, she shouldn't. That I think the mom should have been charged with lying to you. Perjury. But I just don't, as a mom, I just don't see how you could not be going crazy, freaking out that your child's been missing for 31 days. 31 days not knowing where your kid is. I'd be flipping out. And I would not let anybody watch my kid. Like, no, I think that should have been part of the punishment. Like, well, you're not going to jail, but you're going to get your tubes tied. Should that be part of the punishment for people that kill their kids? I kind of think so. I'm just saying, I think that if you kill your children, that should be part of your punishment. So obviously, you are a little crazy and you shouldn't be reproducing. Right? Like, just saying. I know that kind of takes the rights away. I'm just saying. See, Freddie agrees with me. Yeah, I don't care how old your kids are. They're still your kids. And you would still be freaking out if you couldn't find your kid. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how she wasn't freaking out. I know Jamie would be freaking out, and her kids are adults and they moved away. And she hears from them all the time. And she'd be freaking out. I don't know. She's just a piece of shit, in my opinion. Apparently, I like to use that word when describing these murder cases a lot. All right. So this is my finished look. And this is the end of this story about Casey Anthony. Jamie, are you still here? Are you guys going live tomorrow? Who's next? We have not decided yet, but I got some ideas. Me and Jamie are going to discuss that, and then we will let you know. I got some good ideas, though. But if you have ideas, just drop them down below, and we'll write them down. And because we always love to hear your guys' ideas on who we should do. But anyway, we will see you guys next Friday. Will be Slumber Party. We are going to be doing DC Comics villains. I think for the most part is the villains. Okay. I don't think so either, as bad as that sounds. So no Sunday Fun Day tomorrow. So we will see you on for a live on. Oh, me and Bobby are going live on Tuesday. A new live that me and Bobby Loves Beauty are doing on Tuesday evening. And then we are going summer parties on Friday. And then you probably Sunday Fun Day on Sunday then, is what I'm guessing for Jamie and Crystal. And then also Thursday for them. You guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time. I love you guys. Bye.